There are two challenges which I see, which are the biggest. One is that the way typical software systems work, AI systems may not be in such fashion. They are not linear. So AI systems differ very much in that sense. So there is a mindset which needs to be changed. That we may start with something which is small, then iteratively we learn, and then we move to the system which is going to help us move the needle. Now, the second part of the problem which I see is that on many occasions, these organizations, their data may be in silos. A lot of data may be available in some form or the other, but utilization of that data becomes very difficult if it is not known where the systems are or where these data systems are lying. So scaling in AI systems, unless and until they are very small, it takes time. And this time has to be given. And then once the POC has been done or something, this is only a part of the second part of the whole game is that how this system will go into production, where the latency could be another factor. Because let's say the answer has to be provided within milliseconds, but my system is not able to cope up with that. So system needs to be very realistic that it should solve exactly the problem the way it has to be solved. Otherwise, this POC may have been developed, but the scaling of that POC may not take place. So these are the different challenges which could be there when enterprise systems are trying to leverage AI and then trying to scale it up. So in AI, cost effectiveness is something which has to be given a lot of importance, because think of it that a system can be implemented with a simplistic model, and a similar system can be implemented with a complex model. And expertise should be there to understand which model is the one which is better for from the ROI perspective. Deployment perspective, again, if I look at it, iterative. Start with simple, solve the problem. There is no brownie point for solving a problem in a complex fashion. If a complexity is needed, build that complexity because it is needed, not the other way around. So this is the place where digital native organizations, they are not looking at the possibility that every time they will be use the most sophisticated tool which is available outside. They'll always try to understand what is the ROI of a tool, what is the first iteration that it may look like, and then they will put the plan together and then they will execute. So the biggest challenge which I have seen across the organizations is that when the infra is made available to the youngsters, on many occasions, inefficient systems, they start getting developed. Now, this starts having a huge cost to the infrastructure. And it has been seen in many organizations where I was, that this kind of biting, which happens because of bloated infrastructure costs, it's something which hurts the organization in a big way. So think of it, this is again ROI in certain fashion. So when the deployment or the development starts, very first thing is that are we looking at all the matrices in the right fashion? Are we looking at what is the ROI which when we deploy this model versus a complex model or versus a cheaper model, right? And this evaluation has to keep happening because every second day there is a possibility that something has changed and this certain model or something which has come, they may be cheaper, right? So this evaluation and this good understanding of the ecosystem is extremely important when we are putting our projects. If infrastructure costs gets bloated, unfortunately it hurts the whole organization. And this is to be lean in the beginning itself as compared to, let's deploy it and then we'll see how to optimize. So data governance in principle is something which is needed. Can they be upfront about it and then let their customers know that this is the reason they are collecting this data? This data will be used for these particular reasons, and show them the ROI or show them the benefit. So let's say when we look at GDPR, which is the European guidelines for data protection. So companies also need to have a very strong policy about it, that when they are collecting data, what exactly is the end use. Now, it should not happen that the data is getting collected for the sake of it, thinking that something will happen in future and then we will. Because that is something which, let's say, is it that this data can be sold to third party? Now, if this is not known, this is something which should be avoided. So both the parties or all the three parties, one is the citizen whose data it is, the second party is the government who's putting the regulation, the third party is the company who is utilizing the data of the citizens who are using their service for giving certain better services to the citizens. All the three parties should be on the same page when it comes to governance. And till this is not achieved, somebody will be benefiting at the cost of somebody else, which is not the right place where we